Hey. Happy Wednesday. How you doing? Hi. Oh my God, I am so excited today because today we are going to find our ideal clients. Yes. Isn't that exciting to know where your ideal clients are and be able to hang where they're at and actually, find them and talk to them? This is freaking amazing. Anyways, hi. Welcome. If you're watching live right now, say hi. Tell me how the weather is like in here in New York. We are kind of chilly, a little bit cloudy, but it is an amazing day in New York City. Tell me where you're at and how's the weather are. Just take a moment to really understand where you're at and be more present with yourself, be more present where you're how's the weather like, right? It's like something that we often don't ask ourselves. How's the weather like, right? And we just like zoom through our day, wake up through um, our morning and not really realize how amazing of a day it is today. Okay, so if you're watching the replay, is hashtag replay again. Let me know that you have popped by and that you have watched today's training every Wednesday at 1 p.m. in the Six Figure Coaches, Consultants, and Course Creators Club. We come live to do a training around business, to do a training around the thing that you need most support on. If you are not in the group, I want you to go on to Facebook and join us in this group. And if you're watching, I know that I put it in YouTube and IGTV. So if you're watching in these places, please come to the group. This is where we have all our conversations around this topic of each week and how we are able to support each other as a community. Anyways, we are going to talk today. Okay, wait, let me introduce myself. Who am I and why am I so pumped to talk about this topic this week is hi, Kaylin. It's sunny but chilly here in Vancouver. Oh, yes. That's amazing. I love the sun. Someday, some in one part of the world, I will leave this cold weather in New York City and go to a sunny place where it's sunny all year. Anyways, my name is Janet Soriano, and I am a web designer and business coach for six figures coaches, consultants, and course creators. We are here to support you through your business. We are here to support you through being a mom in business, especially. I really like to talk more to the mom because I'm a mom myself, and there's a lot of ups and downs that go through when we're in business. It's very different for someone who is not a mom to someone who is a mom to go through the struggles of business, and yet alone. And that's why I created this group, and that's why I created this support system for you to come in this week, get a training around business, and really understand that you don't have to do these things alone, right? You don't have to go through business alone, and there's people out there, there's coaches, there's things that you can be able to learn from and take advantage of it, even if it's free. So thank you so much for being here, and we're going to go ahead and get on today's training. And today we're talking about 4 steps of finding your ideal client. And you're in the right place if you're having problems finding your ideal clients and not knowing where your ideal clients hang out. If you feel confused towards where you should be focusing your marketing efforts, or therefore, um, you know, understanding where you should be most at, so you can see the most return on your investment, as your time and the money, whether you're doing ads, whether you're doing organic marketing, right? So, so if you're seeing the trend of like, oh, I should be on the new platforms that are coming out, which is like TikTok and Clubhouse and Instagram and IGTV and all these social media platforms, which are very, like it can be a lot of information and a lot of things that you're doing at once. But if you don't know if your ideal client is actually in there or hanging out in there, it's very hard. It's going to be very hard for you to actually um, have a marketing plan that works for you, have a marketing plan that is effective, because there's so much things to do. Like when it comes to marketing, there's so much things that you can do to market your business. You can go to meetups, you can go to social conferences, you can go to in-person workshops, you can do IGTV, you can do like all these things, podcasts, and all these things. So what do I focus on to find my ideal client? And what is like the best use of my time, and how can this help me really strategize so I can focus on one thing only, right? And I'm going to add a little bit of more context around what this 4 steps are, but I'm just going to quickly go over it and then tell you what the thing is, and then maybe give you some explanations around it, right? So the first thing is that you need to get clear on who your ideal client is, right? So you probably heard this before, but it's the first step for a reason, right? So how can you expect to find your ideal client if you don't even know who they are, right? Who she is or who he is, and you don't. I don't mean like know their demographics, but I mean what are their values, what are their principles, what are the types of things that they're looking forward, and the qualities of your ideal client, right? When you get clear on your ideal client before you go out and look for your ideal client, um, you you answer the qualities of what your ideal client is. It's more of a kind of like not a you know clinging. Oh, I want to find who my ideal client is, but most often our ideal client, how do you say it, is not clear to us because we don't get clear on that, right? So we need to understand who do we want to work with, and what values, what qualities does this person have that is excited, that you're excited to work with, right? And this can be different for every industry that you're on, right? So it can be different for example, for the web design industry, uh, or a coaching business, or a copywriting business, right? So it can be very different for each person in business. So you need to do, the second thing is you need to do some research, right? So once you do some internal work of who you really want to attract, and who, like, what are the qualities of that person, then you got to really go out there and, just make a list of places where you may think they be hanging out, right? Think about it. It's probably, it's very, very possible, 100% possible that somebody out there had already built that community where your ideal client is hanging out most of the time, right? So you got to look at whether it's, I don't see competition as competition, but for the sake of saying competition, look at your competition. Where do you think that their audience is coming from, right? Ask people, who fit the above quality of your ideal client, where do they usually hang out, right? So this is about you going out of your own way instead of staying stuck of thinking in your own mind, around, you know, who that my ideal client may be, but not really actually speaking to people. You need to get out there and speak to people. The only way that you're going to find your ideal client is not just by, throwing posts out there and just seeing what sticks. It's like throwing spaghetti at a wall, seeing if somebody actually, gets a response to it. But no, go out there, have conversations. It doesn't have to be that you're selling to them right from the start, but create those relationships, create those conversations, and see if your ideal, like in the groups that you're hanging out, whether in Facebook groups, whether on Instagram, reach out to people on their DMs and just have a conversation. Hi, how are you? I just want to get to know you. Right. And that is the thing that's gonna like really set you apart from like really thinking, oh, I think my ideal client may be hanging out in this platform, but I don't really know. So I'm just gonna post on any random of my content, and I'm just gonna be visible. But I don't really know if they're hanging out in this space, right? The only way that you're gonna know is actually speaking to those people that are in those places, right? And really doing some that part of that research that at the very beginning, it's like, "Ugh, why do I need to do this? Why do I need to do this research?" Um, but it's going to be worthwhile of your time, because then you know with confidence that if your ideal client is hanging in this platform, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Clubhouse, that you know that your marketing efforts and your marketing of your visibility plan is actually going to work in the long term, because you're actually in the space where you want to attract those people, right? If you're in a space where you don't want to attract those people, your marketing, it could be the best quality content that you put out there. It's not going to work because it's not for that people, right? It's not for the people that you want to work with, right? And even you're just going to step back and not really post, not really engage, not really have conversations with people, because you don't even know if they're out there, right? You don't even know if they're like hanging out there, because you haven't spoken to anybody to actually see, or prove that your ideal client, or the qualities that your ideal clients must have to work with you, are hanging out in these groups. Okay, so I hope you're catching up with me. And then the third thing is that you got to be diligent and see if you're actually hanging out in these spaces that you're listed below, right? So like I said, doing some digging and reaching out to people is like the number one thing that you should be like. If you're like in your mind, if you're like, oh my God, I don't know, I can't find my clients. It's so hard to find my clients. I don't know where my ideal clients are. Like, I'm just posting and posting, and I don't know, I'm not attracting any clients. I'm not getting people on calls. Then this is the first thing that you need to do. You need to start going out there and start having conversations with people. Start, um, getting yourself out of that overwhelmed of like, I can't find clients, because you can't find clients is because you're not looking for those clients. All right. If you can't find clients, it's because you are not actively in a space where your clients is hanging out in, right? So the fourth part is make your priority to be in front of them. This is so crucial, because now if you know where your ideal clients, who your ideal client is, right? And you know where they're hanging out, right? Because you have spoken to people, and they have those same qualities that they can be potential clients in there, right? Um Now you got, like, it's your job to make sure they see you. It's your job to make sure that you're on point and consistent in being in front of them. So make it your priority to be in front of your ideal client. You can't just be in a space, be in a Facebook group, be on Instagram, and not be in front of them and just expect them to come your way or visit your website or come buy a service or a product or get on a call with you when you're not actively being in front of them, right? And this is part of your marketing efforts, right? And now that you're being consistent in front of them, right? It's time for you to really understand the value of understanding that honing in and focusing on one thing, for example, on focusing on one platform, focusing on one ideal client, focusing on one problem that you're solving for that ideal client, and solving and focusing on the one offer that you're offering, right? So honing in on those four things and being specific on those four things are the things that are going to actually attract more clients um, through your pipeline, generate more leads, and be able to focus and sell that one thing that you want, right? Because if you're focused on uh, you're trying out Facebook, and you're trying Twitter, and you're trying Instagram, and you're trying Clubhouse, right? You're not really focusing whether your marketing efforts in our quality way, right? So you're just posting things that stick to see who pays attention and who doesn't, right? And when people don't pay attention, you're feeling like, oh, I can't find my ideal clients, right? Well, you're not really having those conversations with your ideal clients, or those potential that may be your ideal clients, because you're not hanging in the space where your ideal client is, because you haven't done that research from the very beginning, right? And that's what will help you focus and get even more results of finding your ideal clients and getting more of your clients through um, your business. At the very beginning, of course, you're going to get on calls with people that are not a great fit. You're going to get on calls, even to this day. Like, I'm 7 years in business and I still get on calls with people who may not be the right fit, right? But that doesn't mean that if they're not ready to buy, or if they're not ready to make the investment, that they won't be ready in a month or two, or they won't be ready next year when they improve and grow their business, right? So understanding that creating relationships and those conversations that you have now with looking for your ideal client, understanding where your ideal client is hanging out, and being in front of them more and more consistently, um, is in the end going to create a sustainability in your business of growth, right? Instead of like uh, ebbs and flows of maybe I get a client this month, maybe I don't next month, right? So with that said, I am so happy. I hope you have a lot of clarity around finding your ideal client. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I will be hanging out in here. One last thing that I want to let you know is that I am going to be opening 2 more coaching spots for free coaching. If you want to grab one of those 2 spots for the rest of this month, I want you to grab a free coaching spot. So these free coaching spots are, in fact, what I'm doing in order to, grow my confidence in coaching, because that's how I'm evolving my business from web design to coaching, but also to help you out to what are the next best steps you need to be taking in your business. What is the platform that you should be focusing on? What is the thing that's going to help you attract and find those ideal clients and get that pipeline going, right? Um, with my help, I will be able to support you, guide you, and help you have a more ease of clarity around that. And that's what we're going to do in that first free session. And of course, there's a catch. You are going to give me a testimonial after I give you that free coaching session, because I really want to get your insight, and I want to, like, as you as I help you grow, I want to grow as well. So we are going to have a free coaching call. If you're up for it, grab that spot now, because they go pretty fast. I think for this whole week, I had my uh, everything packed, like in my schedule of these free coaching calls, and I am freaking enjoying them. And people are having a lot of clarity and a lot of freaking amazing results from this just one free coaching session, right? So if you need help, you need support around your finding your ideal client, this is a time to just work with me on a one-on-one free coaching space. So grab your spot, and I'll see you next week on Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, every Wednesday in the Six Figure Coaching Consultants and Course Creators Club. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye.